know, it's your boy Jay Betts and your boy Jarek, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 3, episode 25. On today's episode, we will be announcing the winner of our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway. And then following that, we're going to show our playoff picture that is updated. 2 more weeks in the season, we're going to show y'all what the playoff picture looks like right now. And then we're going to also give y'all our naughty and nice list and our letters to Santa. All right, we in the Christmas spirit, so we figured we'd do some Christmas segments. And then also in this episode, me and Tyrell will be giving our Week 17 bets and picks. So we got a jam-packed show with the full cast. Let's go ahead and let's get straight to the point. Without any further ado, of course, as always, I want to thank God for waking us up this morning and allowing us to talk about sports. It's something that we love to do. And without Him, we would not be here right now. And also, Merry Christmas, y'all. Hope you have a blessed Christmas. And make sure you spend time with family. And sports going to be on all week. All right, first, let's get this thing started with our winner for the Amazon $100 gift card giveaway. First of all, I want to thank everyone that participated in the competition. I did commenting on the video, subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. We went from 137 subscribers, I believe, to 300, right, in the span of a week. So I want to thank everybody that did that. Thank y'all for also leaving me encouraging messages. Those are much needed, especially for where I'm trying to take this podcast, all right? But your winner for this year's Amazon $100 gift card giveaway is Liv Nikki. Okay, Liv Nikki, congratulations for winning the $100. I will email her and then I'm hoping for a response. But congratulations on winning the $100. And once again, thank you everybody for participating in this competition. All right, let's go ahead and let's get to our playoff picture, updated playoff picture. In the AFC, as of right now, the Kansas City Chiefs have the number 1 seed. Kansas City Chiefs win this week, they will lock it in. There's only 2 weeks left. They're 2 games ahead of the Bills. So with a win, they will lock in at number 1 seed. Number 2, you got the Bills. Number 3, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers. And number 4, you have the Houston Texans. As of today, those 4 teams will be hosting playoff games in the first round. Your wildcard spots are the Baltimore Ravens at 5 and the Chargers and Broncos at 6 and 7. Okay, with the Chargers and the Broncos, all you got to do is win a game between now and the end of the season, and they will lock in their spot because all the players, all the teams in the hunt have 8 losses, right? There's 2 games behind those 2 teams. We're talking about the Colts, the Dolphins, and the Bengals. All have 8 losses. They need the Chargers and Broncos to lose out, and they have a chance to get in. But if you're Chargers and the Broncos, all you got to do is win this week, and you are in. All right, I'm moving over to the NFC side of things. The Detroit Lions have the number 1 seed at 13 and 2, followed by the Eagles at 12 and 3, the Rams at 9 and 6, and the Falcons at 8 and 7. Those are your top 4 seeds. They will be hosting the playoff game if the playoffs started today. In the wildcard spot, you have the Vikings, the Packers, and the Commanders. The Vikings can potentially be the number 1 seed, right? They win this week, and the Lions win. Next week they play each other, and the winner of that game is going to take the number 1 spot, right? If the Lions somehow lose this week, then Philly could possibly jump them and take the number 1 seed. So this side of the bracket is really moving, right? It's really adjustable. A lot of people can move around, and then in the hunt, you have the Buccaneers and the Seahawks. The Cowboys, the Cardinals, the 49ers was eliminated last week. But you got the Buccaneers and the Seahawks at 7 losses. They need, well, for the Seahawks, they need the Rams to lose a game. And then the Seahawks also play the Rams the last game of the season. And then you're also looking at the Buccaneers being 8 and 7. Them and Atlanta have the same record. So Atlanta lose this week, the Buccaneers win, the Buccaneers will jump ahead. So it's a lot of movement that can happen on this side of the bracket as well. But we will see how this week goes, and that will determine how the playoff picture looks going into the playoffs, all right? All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it with our favorite bets for week 17. All right, we wasn't able to get y'all bets for week 16 because we had things going on with family and friends, etc. But we'll go ahead and get y'all our favorite bets for week 17. Let's try and get some money during this holiday season. All right, Tyrell, who you got first?
Yes, sir. So I like Juju Smith-Schuster over 6.5 receiving yards. He's going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and last week he didn't record a single catch. He literally has 0 yards. So I think he'll have a bounce back game and definitely have over 7 yards against his former team.
All right, cool. And that is also the Christmas game, so make sure I don't miss that. I'm going with Saturday's game. I'm going with the Broncos and the Bengals. I'm going with Portland Sutton over 66 receiving yards. I'm not impressed with this Bengals secondary, even though he did a good job against the Cleveland Browns last week. The Browns had DTR starting, Dorian Thompson Robinson, right? So I wasn't really worried about that game. But I do think that in this game, if the Bengals are going to put up points, the Broncos got to throw the ball, and Cortland Sutton is the best receiver on the team. And I don't see a corner in Cincinnati that can stop him. Right, it's Bo Nick's favorite target, and this is a very important game, so they got to get the ball to him. They didn't really get the ball to him against the Chargers, and you saw how that went. So they got to give him the ball if they want to win this game. I think they are going to win. So I'm going with Cortland Sutton to go over 66 receiving yards. Hello, who you got next?
Yes, sir. And I got Jackson Smith Jigba going over 72.5 receiving yards. I know you've been seeing this kid. This kid's been going crazy every week, covering this line. The past 6 weeks, he's been covering this line. So definitely go over and smash Jackson Smith Jigba. He's been the reason they've been winning football games.
All right, I'm going with Drake May over 206.5 passing yards. All right, Drake May going against the Chargers this week. He's going to have to match their offense because the Patriots defense is not that great. So I think Justin Herbert, after we saw that second half he had against the Broncos, I think they can carry over into this game. Mind you, the Chargers have to win out if they want to get into the playoffs. So I believe that Justin Herbert will have a good game, which means Drake May on the other side has to throw the ball. And 200 passing yards, he's been covering this number for a couple of games straight. So I think in the Chargers secondary don't scare me that much. So I think Drake May can put it in the air, try to play keep up with Justin Herbert. So I think this is a lock for Week 17. All right, Tyrell, who you got next?
Yes, sir. I got Harrison Bucker over 7.5 kicking points. Everybody knows Pittsburgh has one of the best defenses in the league. So this is going to come down to those 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, touchdown. Like I rarely see the Chiefs scoring a lot of touchdowns on y'all. So I think Harrison Bucker will have about 15 kicking points. I think it'll be one of those type of games. Him versus Chris Boswell all game.
Okay, I feel that. I feel that. All right, next I'm going with my favorite bet for the week is Kyron Williams over 88.5 rushing yards against the Arizona Cardinals defense. All right, the Cardinals defense over the last 3 games have allowed 178 rushing yards. We just saw Chuba Hubbard go for 152 this past week. All right, that's the second worst in that 3 game span. That's the second worst in the league. So I think going against the Rams team, Sean McVay loves to run the ball. Once again, they got to win this game, so they're going to lean on Kyron Williams. Matthew Stafford hasn't looked that great over the past couple of weeks, so I think they're going to lean on Kyron in that run game against a bad run defense. So Kyron Williams going over 88.5. I would even bump this up to 100 if you can. That's how confident I am in this bet. All right, who you got next, Tyler?
Yes, sir. I got George Pickens going over 62.5 receiving yards. George Pickens is like a ticking time bomb. Like every time he's on the field, he's like a highlight play waiting to happen. And he hasn't played the past 2 weeks. So you know he's really eager, you know he's really hungry and really desperate to go out there and make plays. And he might get the 62 yards on the first play of the game.
I agree 100%. And I even had the same bet. Now, I had a backup bet just in case because my only concern is he going to play? All right, this ain't expected to play, but we don't know for sure if he's going to play it. But if he does play, smash 62. All right, that's easy. That can be in one play, like you said, even 2 plays because he's a deep ball threat. All right, but I'm going with Pat Fryermuth to go over 30.5 receiving yards, tight end for the Steelers. Okay, I think George Pickens will open up things for Pat Fryermuth, and this Chief defense struggles against tight ends. So Pat hasn't really had a lot of good games over the past couple of weeks. It's because George Pickens been out, so the teams can kind of key in on him. But now that George is back, I think it's going to weaken, soften up secondary for Pat to eat up underneath him. Like I said, the Chiefs are not really good against tight ends, so 30.5, that can be done in the first half, in my honest opinion. And just in case the Steelers defense not playing too well, just in case, and Pat trying to run the score up a little bit, or he's moving the ball easily, then we're going to have to throw the ball, and guess what? That's more volume than Pat Fryermuth, all right? So who you got next for your team bet?
Yeah, so I got the Dolphins going over the Browns. They're gonna win. If I was you, I'd take the money line. I think they're just a way better team, and I think the Browns are just looking forward to next year. The Dolphins will be getting Jalen Waddle back this week, so they'll be at basically full health. I think they'll go into Cleveland and kill Cleveland. Take the money line at minus 280.
All right, I like that. And I'm gonna go with an upset this week. All right, the Bengals are favored in this matchup, but I'm going with the Broncos. Tyrell, what do I say on this show week after week about the Broncos against teams below 500?
Yes, sir. You always say they're undefeated and they get the job done against the bad teams. That's what you love about them.
Undefeated, 100%. Right, 7-0 versus teams below 500 this year. The Bengals are below 500. I'm not gonna let that Browns win put fear in my heart. I'm not gonna let the Dallas win put fear in my heart. I do believe that this Broncos team can go into Cincinnati, and this is a must win. The Broncos lose out, they're gonna miss the playoffs. And the Broncos play the Chiefs the last week of the season. The Chiefs might be fighting for that number one seed, maybe. So, hey, if you're the Broncos, you have to win this game so you can go ahead and secure a playoff spot. You win this game, you're in. So I got the Broncos winning on the road, and the Bengals are favored, so you can win some good money here. So go ahead and take the money line for the Broncos over the Bengals. All right. Let's move on next to our week 17 picks. Like I said, it's a long week. It starts Wednesday, then Thursday, then Saturday, then Sunday. So it's football all week. Make sure y'all enjoy. But let's go ahead and start with our Christmas games on Wednesday. We're starting off with the Steelers and the Chiefs. Tyrell, who you got?
Yes, sir. So as you said, the Chiefs might be fighting for that number one overall spot. And like you always say, sometimes you got to pick upsets. And I got the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in. I got them winning and defending their home throne against the Chiefs. I think that loss last week really pissed off the Steelers. Everybody knows they hate the Ravens. So that loss really ticked them off. I think the whole team's gonna be ready to play. And I think that TJ Watt's gonna come dominate whoever's on the Chiefs offensive line. So I think as you always say, you got to pick the underdogs, and I got the Pittsburgh winning on Christmas.
Hey man, I love it. And as y'all can see, I'm in the Christmas spirit. I'm also in the Steelers spirit, okay? I'm going with the upset. I'm going with the Steelers. Look, the Steelers cannot afford to lose this game. That's why I'm picking them to win. Are they better than the Chiefs? No, I wouldn't say that just because they have Patrick Mahomes, right? They have a championship pedigree. That's why I wouldn't say that. But the Steelers have to win this game because they lose this game and Baltimore wins in Houston, then guess what? Baltimore is now the number one seed in the AFC North, which means the Steelers have to go on the road in the playoffs. And the Steelers don't want to do that, right? You want to go ahead and try and lock up this division, so you got to win out. They got to win. Look, the Chiefs have won a lot of close games, and I believe that in Pittsburgh, the Steelers can get it done. T.J. Watt was a no-show last week. Yes, he was coming off that injury, but he did. I ain't know he played. I ain't see him in the stat sheet, right? I ain't see him make no big plays. We're due a couple big plays from T.J. Watt. And what better game to do it in versus Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs team? I think with George Pickens coming back, especially if he plays, the offense looks different. I'm going with the upset. I'm going with the Steelers at home in a must-win game. All right. Next, we got Baltimore and the Texans also on Christmas. What you got?
Yeah, so I got the Baltimore Ravens winning. They have the MVP of the league on their team, and I just think they're a better team all the way around against the Texans. And like you said, they really can't afford to lose this game because how close the division is. And like you said, nobody wants to go on the road and play a playoff game. Like people want to play home playoff games. So I got the Ravens winning, and I think the Texans know that they have that division locked up, so they won't be really be playing for too much.
Yeah, I agree. That Tank Dell injury hurts bad because not only did you lose Stephon Diggs, right? So now you was down to two really good receivers. Now you lost Tank Dell. Now you're down to one really good receiver, Nico Collins. I just don't think this Texans offense has enough to be able to go shot for shot with Lamar. Now, if D'Amico Ryans and that defense have a good game, then we're talking a whole nother story. But I do think that their offense is going to struggle to put up points. The Ravens are really good at stopping the run, so Joe Mixon might be a non-factor in this game, which means C.J. Stroud will be throwing the ball 30 plus times to who outside of Nico Collins, right? So I think it's just an unfortunate time of the year for the Texans. They're getting hurt, getting close to the playoffs. So this might be a one and done team in the playoffs, unfortunately. And I think that we're going to see them struggle against this Ravens team. And like you said, the Ravens have to win this game. Texans already in the playoffs. Texans got a home game locked up because they won their division. The Ravens have to win this game. So I'm going to go with the Ravens on the road on Christmas, all right? But then we got Thursday night football. We got the Seahawks in Chicago. In Chicago, who you got?
Yeah, so I got the Seahawks winning this game. This is a game they can't afford to lose because of how close the playoff standings are. Right now, they're in the hunt. They're not even in the playoffs, so they need a lot of other things to happen in order for them to get in the playoffs. So they just have to handle what they can handle, and they got to win this game.
So the Seahawks are now 8-7. So they lost to the Vikings, right? The Rams are 9-6. So with that being said, the Seahawks have no choice but to win this game and hope they can and hope the Rams win or the Rams lose. And that last game of the season is going to be for the division because they play the Rams the week after this one. So this is a must win for Seattle and Chicago. Look, just go ahead and let it go. All right, I lost so many close games at one point, but then I started getting blown out the past couple of weeks. Hey, it's the first year for Caleb Williams, right? So we're gonna go ahead and forget this year even happened. We're gonna move on to the next year. But this Bears team's not good enough for me to put money on them or to pick them to win the game. All right. Now moving on to Saturday, y'all. Like I said, 4 days this week. There will be football being played. Well, 5 days, including Monday, right? But 4 days this week, football will be played on Saturday. We have a triple header, and the first game is the Chargers and the Patriots. Tyrell, who you got?
I got the Chargers winning this game. I feel like the Patriots put up their best shot last week. I feel like that was the best game we'll see them play all year. I think everybody knows they're a really bad team, and I think the Chargers they have to show some momentum. They have to show something on offense. They have to show something on defense before they go into the playoffs to see what their identity truly is. So I got the Chargers coming in and winning.
Yep, the Chargers got to win this week, right? A lot of teams are in clinching scenarios where they have to win, right? The Chargers have to win this week because they have 6 losses. The next best team behind them in the hunt has 8 losses, right? So Chargers lose out, they're done. I think they win this week, they should be able to clinch their spot. All right, so Chargers get the job done against a bad team in the Patriots. It should be fairly easy in my opinion. Like you said, the Patriots put up a fight last week. That was also a divisional game, right? So players get up more for those kind of games, but this week against the Chargers, I think the Chargers should be able to take care of it with ease. All right. Next, we got the Broncos and the Bengals for our second game on Saturday. Who you got?
Yes, sir. So I know you're not too big on this Bengals team, but I'm big on this Bengals team. I think Joe Burrow can make anything happen whenever. That's how good he is. That's how good Jamar Chase is. That's how good that offense is.
Yep.
So I think the Bengals will win out, and I think the Broncos will end up dropping their last 2 games, and I think the Bengals will end up getting in. So I got Cincy defending their home throne and winning this game.
Hey, I don't not like it. Right. I have no problem with you picking the Bengals. But like I said, the Broncos take care of business against team below 500. Now, this is not your average team below 500, right? Joe Burrow could very well be the MVP if they was winning games this year. Jamar Chase is by far the best receiver this year. About to be a triple crown winner. So this is not your average below 500 team, but I still believe that this Bengals team can show what they've been showing throughout this year, losing close games, right? Having bad games. And I think this Broncos team, they're fighting. Well, both teams fighting for something, but Broncos know they win, they even. They got to win one game. Win one game and you're in there. So take care of business this week on the road. And the Bengals record at home is not that good this year. I know you just beat the Browns. I know it looked good. Everybody like it, but I don't necessarily believe in this team, even though they have that offensive star power. So I'm going with the Broncos with the upset in Cincinnati. All right, next we got the Cardinals and the Rams to finish out the slate on Saturday. Who you got?
Yes, sir. So I was really mad a couple of days ago when the Cardinals lost to the Panthers.
Yeah.
And I know the Cardinals are really, really mad because they got kicked out of the playoffs with that loss.
Yeah.
I felt like they were a good enough team to make the playoffs. And I feel like, as you say every week, you got to pick some upsets. I think this is going to be a big upset. I think the Cardinals play spoiler for the Rams, and they beat them. If you saw what happened earlier in week 6 or week 7, the Cardinals absolutely obliterated the Rams.
Yeah.
Absolutely obliterated the Rams. And I think they're pissed off from what happened last week. I think they're trying to play spoiler to the Rams. So I got the Cardinals winning.
Yeah, and playing spoiler is really good when you're going against a divisional team, right? You really want to spoil their playoff hopes. But this Rams team, they flipped the switch. Now the wins have not been pretty as of late. We saw them win in San Francisco. That wasn't pretty. We saw them beat the Jets. That was by 10, but it still wasn't pretty, right? But I think they can go and beat the Arizona Cardinals team. Like I said, the Arizona Cardinals team is not stopping the run as of late. This is why they've been dropping games. But you're letting Chuba Herbert go for 150, right? So this week you're going against Kyron Williams, who's arguably top 5, top 8, somewhere around there, running back in the league. And I think that with the Sean McVay offense, they want to run the ball. You can't stop the run. So they'll go ahead and run down your throat. So I think that the Rams, once again, take care of business. So next week is not that big of a game against the Seahawks, right? I mean, I think they'll be the Seahawks anyway. So I think the Rams will go ahead and win this game against a struggling Arizona team. All right, Sunday, for the Sunday slate, we got the Colts and the Giants first up. Who you got?
And so I got the Colts winning. The Colts they're a pretty good team. Or I can't say that yet, but they have a lot more weapons than the Giants do. They have a lot more than the Giants do. So I got them winning. I think the Giants are just playing for next year, and the Colts are just playing for what they think works and what'll work next year.
Yeah. I mean, the Colts playing for the playoff spot too. They hoping that the Broncos can lose out or the Chargers can lose out and they can squeeze in. So they still got some hope. And I understood what you said. You said this is a good team, and then you took it back. No, they're a good team when they're standing next to the Giants, right? Because the Giants are just a bunch of trash. So I'm going with the Colts to win this game. We saw Jonathan Taylor eat last week, had over 200 rushing yards. I think he's gonna do it again this week against the Giants team that let Bijan Robinson have a big day this past week. So I got the Colts winning against the Giants. All right. Next we got the Jets and the Bills. Who you got?
I got the Bills winning this game. The Bills, they're playing really, really good football. I think last week was one of those bridge games where it's like it's a really, really hard game to get by. I think Josh Allen will 100% be back to help his MVP odds out. And they're playing in Buffalo. I think they're going to defend New York the right way. So I got Buffalo coming out and winning.
Yeah, I got Buffalo. I can't pick the Jets no more. I told you this. The only time I picked the Jets since they lost to the Patriots a while ago. They lost to the Patriots. The only time I picked them to win was against the Jaguars, and they won that game. Haven't picked them any other game since then. Right, I'm not picking them this week either. They're going against a better team. When they go against teams that are better than them, they're gonna find a way to lose. And the Bills, after that close game last week, should come in and try to end this early, right, against the Jets. So I got the Bills winning at home against the Jets team that just this year disappointed me by a lot. By a lot. All right, next we got the Raiders and the Saints. Who you got?
Yes, sir. I got the Raiders winning this game. I think the Raiders are a better team than us. I think the Saints are really, really banged up, and Spencer Rattler is just not that guy at all. If anybody saw how he played against the Packers today, it was just terrible. The Saints just aren't there at all. They scored 0 points today. And I just feel like the Raiders are just a better team than them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders too. The Saints to me shouldn't be trying to win games anyways, right? You should be trying to get the better pick. But I just think I'm going with the Raiders because the Saints injuries have killed y'all this year. Right, offensively, I don't know if AK playing this week. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't even play AK this week. I'll see AK the rest of the season. What's the point in playing? Right, so I think y'all should be auditioning new guys. And I know the Raiders aren't a good team either, but I'm like, hey, y'all want to win a little bit of money, take a chance on this upset right here. When it's an upset, but it's not really an upset if you know what I'm saying, right? Like the Saints are favorites to win, but they're not that far away from each other because the Saints just got beat up this year with injuries. So take the chance and go with the Raiders. I know I would. I know I am. So I got the Raiders to win this game. Next we got the Panthers and the Bucks. So you got
I got the Buccaneers winning this game. The Buccaneers lost a tough one last week. Sunday Night Football, they lost a
yep,
really, really tough one.
yep.
I think that's going to sit back and haunt them for a while. So I think they're going to come into this game pissed off. I take the money line on the Buccaneers all day, especially how they're playing for the playoffs. They're neck and neck with Atlanta, and they got
Yeah,
to play for Atlanta to lose.
they have to. And I'm going to upset again. I'm going to the Panthers. Look, the Panthers played this team close. If I'm not mistaken, that game went to overtime with the Bucks last time they played. And last week, the Panthers just ruined the Cardinals season. So why not go ruin the Bucks season? That's in your division. All right, this Bucks team. Look, like against the Cowboys, I for sure locked the Bucks to win that game. I thought for sure they'll win that game. And you let one slip against a bad Cowboys team, why not let one slip against the Panthers team? That's in your division, so it's already going to be a tough game. And then the Panthers just played spoiler for the Cardinals last week. Let's see them play spoiler again for the Bucks. All right, I'm not mad at your pick though. Honestly, I wouldn't put no money on this. I'm just picking the Panthers to see if I can get the upset correct. All right. Next we got the Titans and the Jaguars. Who you got?
I got the Titans winning this game. Um, I'm not sold on Mac Jones at all. Like I think he's a terrible quarterback. The Jaguars have a pretty good team though, but I just think Will Levis, all the disrespect he's gotten this year, and regardless if it's him or Mason Rudolph who plays this week, I just think the Titans just have a lot more to play for, like a lot more pride. Brian Callahan's gonna be pissed off and all that. So
Yeah, I'm going with the Titans too. I'm not betting on Mac Jones. That's literally my only explanation for this game. I'm just not gonna. I don't care who start. I don't care Will Levis started. I don't care if Mason Rudolph started. I'm not betting on Mac Jones to win a game for the rest of this year. All right. Next we got the Cowboys and the Eagles. Who you got?
Eagles all day. I think they're pissed off by what happened, and I think that the Cowboys are flying high over the win they just had. So Eagles all day. Jalen Hurts should be back healthy.
Yeah, I got the Eagles too. Even if Jay Hurts don't play, I think they can use Saquon enough to where they'll win this game because the Cowboys now have a good rush defense. So you'd be able to run the ball all over the Cowboys, and then if you get them commits to the run enough, any quarterback in the NFL can play action and throw the ball up to AJ Brown, right? So I think even if Kenny Pickett has to play, or whoever it is, they got to step in there for Jay Hurts if he don't play. Well, I'm assuming he gonna play, but if he don't play, I still think they can beat this Cowboys team with ease. All right, next we got the Dolphins and the Browns. Who you got?
I got the Dolphins winning this game. They're just a better team. And Dorian Robinson Thompson, I've still yet to see him play a good game in the NFL. I just don't think he's an NFL ready quarterback, and that's not to hate on him at all. I want to see him win. I want to see him succeed, but I just don't think he's there yet at all.
Yep, another playoff scenario game. The Dolphins have to win this game. They want to have a chance to get to the playoffs. Them, the Colts, and the Bengals won last week. All three of them have to win this week if they want to stay alive. And of course, they need some help from the Chargers losing and the Broncos losing. They're not going to lose in game to DTR. It's just not going to happen. All right, so I got the Miami Dolphins win this game in Cleveland. All right, next we got the Packers and the Vikings. This is a huge game, actually. A huge game. Who you got?
I got the Packers winning this game. I feel like this is going to come down to who's the better quarterback. We all know they both have two really good defenses, and we both know that they have two good offenses. But I just feel like it's going to come down to who's the better quarterback because this game is going to come down to the last drive.
Yeah, look, I'm not a fan of this. And Kofi, if you watching, bro, this is no hate against the Vikings. I just don't trust Sam Darnold. I don't care what I'm seeing right now. I just don't trust him. And it's not a playoff game because the Vikings are going regardless, but this could be a division. This could decide who wins the division. It really could because the Vikings have to win this game in order to play the Detroit next week, and that's going to be for the division. So honestly, I think that the Packers is going to win this game because they have the better quarterback. And I think they also have the better coach. I'll take Matt LaFleur over Kevin O'Connell. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Packers in this big game. And the Packers hoping that the Lions can lose out and the Vikings can lose out and they can win the division, maybe. Right. So this is a big game, and I'm gonna go with the who I think is the better quarterback, like you said, and who I also think is the better team. I think it's the Packers. All right. Who you got on Sunday Night Football? We got the Falcons and the Commanders. Rookie versus rookie. Who you
I
got?
got the Commanders winning. Like you were trying to tell me last week, it's going to be too much pressure on Michael Penix to come out and play good. I feel like a lot of people think he played good. I didn't think he played good. I think he played really, really rusty. I think he was making his throws with one read. He wasn't really getting through his progressions. And I think Jalen Daniels, the way he played last week, he's got the NFL mastered. He's running through these teams. He's learning the playbook. He knows the NFL speed. He's developed it all. So
Yep.
I definitely got him winning at home. And he's playing for playoff seeding too. So I definitely got him winning.
Yep. I got the Commanders. Look, like I was wrong about Jaden Daniels this year. And not necessarily Jaden Daniels. I was wrong about the Commanders in general. I thought they was gonna fall off eventually. And they had they're still here. In that game last week, yesterday Hurts got hurt. But that last drive in the end of the game, that's that it factor. Right. And I gotta give Jaden Daniels credit. I just got to. He showed that it factor. He drove down the field and won the game. So I gotta give it to him. And like you said, Michael Penix to me, he did not and it was his first game. So I wasn't expecting much. But what he did last week, I think Kirk could have did the same thing, right? Their defense balled out, which they have not been doing, and then they ran the ball really well with Bijan Robinson. So I mean, like I'm Michael Penix fan, but I'm not finna let nobody tell me that they put Michael Penix in now they winning game. No, they beat the Giants for one, and for two, Michael Penix didn't have that great a game. All right, so I got the Commanders win this game at home. All right, is it in week 17? We got the Lions and the 49ers. Who you got?
I got the Lions winning this game. Everybody knows this 49ers team is beat up. And I
Yes.
think they're looking towards next year. They've already said Trent Williams is sat for the season. They're really just giving up on a lot of things. So I think the Lions come in here, defend the number one seed in the NFC. They take on their home field advantage, take it to week 18, and see who really wins the division. I can't see them losing this game at all.
Yeah, I got a feeling that the NFL, Roger Goodell, the people that made the schedule, they had a general idea that this game would have been for the number one seed during this time of year. You know what I'm saying? Before the season started. But the 49ers got beat up, and now this game means nothing to the 49ers. So to me, the 49ers try to get the best pick you can. You probably gonna lose anyways, but I wouldn't even try to win. Like at this point, the season's over. They're running back next year. To me, you have the roster. Y'all just got beat up this year. But the Lions, like I said, they want to keep that number one seed, and not only that, but they want to keep that division. So they got to win this game because they got to play the Vikings next week. And if the Vikings somehow win, and the Lions win, they'll be fighting for that division next week. This is an important game for the Lions. The Lions go on the road, take care of business in San Francisco. All right. But that is it for our week 17 bets and our week 17 picks. Make sure y'all trail them, all right, and try to win you a little money for Christmas. All right, that's our Christmas gift to y'all. All right, giving y'all these bets. Let's get in the Christmas spirit and let's talk about our nice list. All right, so basically, me and Jerry, we took three people on each side. So we got three people on the nice side, three people on the nice side from this year and either moving into next year or things they've done in the past, whatever it is, they would be on our naughty or nice list. All right, Jared, who you got first on the naughty side?
All right, so on the naughty side, I have Joe Shohan, the Giants GM. My brother, you did not do too well in the offseason or this season. You let Saquon Barkley walk away. You told him in the offseason that he can go and look for potential buyers, go and look for the best deal possible, and then come back and talk to him about it. And that's how he ended up being a Philadelphia Eagle. And you basically chose Daniel Jones to be your franchise quarterback and stay and pay him over Saquon Barkley. Yeah, you drafted Malik Neighbors. Yeah, you added Brian Burns, but it wasn't enough. You're potentially going to have the number one pick this year, and that is why you're on the 9 list. So you need to get together to the New York Giants. I would advise them to go in a new direction. That is first up on my naughty list.
All right, on my naughty, I agree, by the way. And on my naughty list, I got Jerry Jones. Okay, my explanation is very simple. Okay, it's one sentence. You make Dak Prescott the highest paid player ever. Done. That's enough for me. You're number one on my naughty list just for that. All right, Jerry, who you got next on the naughty list?
You're not gonna like this one, but number 2, I have Aaron Rodgers. Okay, and it's not just a personal vendetta thing. It's not because you chose them to be your Super Bowl winners. It's not because I have real legitimate reasons. Okay, ever since A-Rod has stepped in New York, everything has crumbled and everything he has touched has turned to fire and has burned up. You got your head coach fired. You brought in the offensive coordinator who, I mean, he's not looking better than the old offensive coordinator that you used to have. It's not everything's not looking good. The whole organization looks like it appears to be crumbling. Like I said, head coach got fired for no reason. He was not the problem. I promise you, he wasn't the problem. And as soon as he got fired, the defense started looking a little suspect. Okay, you're not playing your best football. You had them break an arm and a leg to go get Devontae Adams, and it still didn't equate to y'all doing any better. So, Aaron Rodgers, at some point, we have to look at you and say, hey, man, ever since you got here, things haven't gone the way that they've expected or on the trajectory that they had planned it to be on. You were supposed to be Super Bowl favorites, Super Bowl contenders, and now you're eliminated out of the playoffs. So, Aaron Rodgers, you are on my naughty list, sir. If you are still playing football next year, I hope you can get together and hopefully return to some form of Green Bay MVP Aaron Rodgers and hopefully help New York Jets out if you're still there. So, he's on my naughty list.
All right, you know, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna let it go. I ain't gonna say nothing. All right, on my naughty list, I got the refs. Okay, the NFL, any ref in the NFL. This year, I have seen too many missed calls. I have seen too many bad calls. At this point, I want to call Roger Goodell and I want to say, look, for referees that make bad calls, right, there needs to be a pay cut. There needs to be some kind of punishment so that they learn from their mistakes. Because it's been happening far too much this year. Far too many games at the end when it's close and it's the last 2 minutes. There's been calls missed and there's been calls made that are just wrong, flat out wrong. So the referees, y'all are definitely on the naughty list. And I think every NFL fan can agree with that because there has to be at least one moment this year, actually multiple moments this year, where he looked at your screen and he was like, really, bro? Really, bro. So the zebras, the refs, y'all are on my naughty list. All right, Jerry, you got next.
Next up on my list is the Bengals defense. You're on the naughty list. You are the reason why your team is hanging on to playoff hopes by a thread. I mean, if y'all could have stepped up in any of the games this year that were very close games because Joe Burrow played his tail off, maybe y'all would be in the playoffs right now in a wild card spot, even potentially fighting for the division. But you couldn't. You allowed teams to go out there and run over y'all, throw the ball over y'all, just doing whatever they wanted to, however they wanted to, and exposing y'all and embarrassing y'all. Secondary looks bad. You only have one effective pass rusher. It's looking terrible. And if I'm being quite honest, if the defense coordinator is not gone and half of that defensive side of the ball is not gone, then the Bengals, you're in for a rude awakening come next season as well. Okay, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase had great seasons, and unfortunately, they have gone to waste because of the Bengals defense. You prevented a playoff appearance and your own quarterback having an MVP trophy. So that is why I have put the Bengals on my naughty list.
All right, last but not least on my naughty list, I have Steelers fans. Okay, Steelers fans, I am completely sick of y'all. Okay, I'm tired now. Mind you, I follow a lot of Steelers pages because I want to get the news. You know what I'm saying? So I see the comments and I see all the Steelers fans talking about the Steelers team. And one recent thing that they've been saying is to bench Russ and put Justin Fields in. Mind you, since Russ has started for the Steelers, he is 6-3. Okay, at one point he was 6-1 before this last 2-game losing streak. And I will admit, over these past 2 games, he hasn't looked the best. Right, he hasn't looked the best, but that's 2 games out of the 9 games that he played where he hasn't looked good. And the word on the street is put Justin Fields in. Right, this team is also 10-5, and I'm hearing fire Mike Tomlin. I'm not understanding. What do y'all want? Do y'all want a playoff win? Give them a chance to win a playoff game. How about that? Give them a chance this year. Let's wait till this year is over before we talk about firing the man. But we're talking about firing the man that locked in a playoff spot, another non-losing season, and he's 10-5. Steelers fans, when we win a game, we go to the Super Bowl. When we lose the game, we suck. I'm not understanding. They just can't please y'all. So for any player in the future that get drafted by the Steelers, I apologize. Okay, I apologize because these fans will not give you a break. Either you're the best thing since sliced bread or you're the worst thing in the world. It's either one or the other. There is no middle, right? And they overreact about everything. So I could go on and on about the Steelers fans, but they are definitely on my naughty list. All right, now we
Mind you, mind you, the past 2 games that we've lost, Russell Wilson hasn't had his number one receiver. A guy that was on pace. He might still get his 1,000-yard season if he plays this week in the last game of the season. But he was on pace to have well over 1,000 yards, and he's missed the last 2 or 3 games. And so last 3 games, and we've lost the last 2. So that's another reason for Russell Wilson struggles. But nobody wants to hear that. They just want to ridicule the man. But hey.
Exactly. So, like the Steelers fans, you're on the naughty list, all right. But now we've been negative. But now this is the season of giving, right? This is Christmas time, right? So let's spread some positivity and let's talk about who's on the nice list.
First up on the nice list, I have Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley, even had a great season so far, an MVP type season. The man currently stands at 1,838 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. He's on pace to beat the rushing record if they allow him to play in Week 18 against the New York Giants. Like I said, he's having an MVP caliber season. If the MVP wasn't really a quarterback's award, I would say he hands down, flat out deserves the award. I mean, he came from the New York Giants. Bad situation over there. And I told you before the season started, I said he now is going to show why he is one of the best running backs in the league. I'm not going to lie. He surpassed all expectations I had for him. But Saquon Barkley, hey, man, you're on the nice list this year. You're doing your thing. Keep it up.
All right, number one on my nice list is Sean Payton. Okay, nobody, and I do mean nobody, thought the Broncos would be in the playoffs. They are 1 win away from being in the playoffs. And nobody thought it would be over 500. So let's just say they lose out. Right now they're 9-6. Let's just say, God forbid, they lose out. They're 9-8. Nobody thought it would be over 500 either. So either way, and of course you want to make the playoffs, you're in there, make the playoffs. But regardless, you have exceeded expectations. Nobody thought that with a first-year quarterback in Bo Nix, y'all would be in the playoffs, especially in the AFC. Right? We talked about the AFC being the toughest conference, right? And you made the playoffs this year. Well, you're about to make the playoffs. I believe they're about to win one of these games. All right, so great job, Sean Payton, for exceeding expectations, and now you're ahead of schedule. So make sure you add some weapons. This can be a Super Bowl contender next year. We're being realistic. The defense is really good. Bo Nix second year, add some weapons. Sky's the limit for this team. So Sean Payton, great job this year. You're number one on my nice list. Jared, who you got next?
Next up on my list, I have Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn went from being defensive coordinator in Dallas to coming over here to the Commanders and really taking over this franchise and turning a new leaf over. I mean, you and your team, y'all went out and got Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't high on the guy, but you've made him fit in so well. You did a great job in going out, and y'all went out and hired Cliff Kingsbury, the great offensive mind for him to come in and really help Jaden Daniels with his transition. But this man has his defense playing good football. They're one of the best in the league. And mind you, they have 10 wins right now. This is the most wins they've had since 2012. 2012. That's a pretty long time. It's a pretty long time, and they can still add on to this win total. And if they add on to this win total and get past the 10-win mark, that would be the most wins since the 1991 season when they won 14 games. This man, he's come to this franchise, and he's given this franchise promise going into the future. So, Dan Quinn, I tip my hats off to you. Great season.
I agree. And look, I gotta apologize because if you remember, I put them on my tiers list for Timber. Right, I thought it was gonna fall eventually. I thought Jaden Daniels' hype was just too much, but hey, he lived up to the hype. When they hyped him up with coach in the beginning of the year, he has lived through it and he has played good football. So you're right, Dan Quinn definitely on the nice list. Second on my nice list is Jim Harbaugh. Same thing as Sean Payton. Nobody thought this team was gonna make the playoffs, and they are literally a win away from being in the playoffs. First year head coach, and not only a first year head coach, like Sean Payton was here last year, but Jim Harbaugh, first year head coach, he was in college last year. Right, of course, he'd been in the NFL before, but he was in college last year, jumped back to the NFL, and it's already taking his team to the playoffs. This is a team that before the season started, we talked about having no weapons on offense. Right, they lost Keenan Allen. They lost Mike Williams. They lost Austin Eckler. Nobody thought this team would be good enough to be above 500. And here they are, one win away from locking up a playoff spot. So Jim Harbaugh, great job this year. And once again, you done knocked off the rust, right? It was supposed to be a building year. It's supposed to be kind of a year for you to get adjusted, for you to get Justin Herbert adjusted to not having weapons. Then you add weapons and get better. You're already better. So now you're just going, you add weapons going into next year. Y'all a problem as well. The AFC is going to be a problem next year. And it's because of people like Jim Harbaugh coming to teams and instantly making them contenders. So, Jim Harbaugh, you on the nice list.
The final person on my nice list is Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is having one of the greatest rookie receiving seasons I've seen, and he's a tight end doing this. Mind you, right now he has 101 receptions, 1,067 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's tied for second in receptions, and he is 8th in receiving yards. Mind you, he's over there doing this in Las Vegas with no quarterback. The man's went through Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and Desmond Ridder. Those are 3 quarterbacks that I will tell you are not franchise guys. So the fact that you came over here as a rookie and you've taken over and you're really doing a great job over there and you're balling, having a dominant season without support from your quarterback, I got to tip my hat off to you. You're having a great season. You're going to have a great career.
I like that one. And last but not least, on my nice list, I'm going with Howie Roseman, GM for the Eagles. Look, this is the best GM in all of football because no matter how good this team is, he's going to keep adding talent. This team 2 years ago was in the Super Bowl. Last year they had a little funk, right? It was something bad in the locker room, a little Super Bowl hangover, and they got bounced in the first round. Guess what he said? We're going to get Saquon. Added Saquon Barkley. We're going to get C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Added C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We're going to draft Quinyon Mitchell, who's been one of the best corners this year, right? So he just continues to add talent to this team. And it kind of makes you look at the rest of the GMs in the league like, what are y'all doing? Because how are we going to pull the trigger? He don't care who it is. He don't care what the name is. He don't care how much it costs. He's going to pull the trigger. He's going to give this team the best chance to win year in and year out. The Eagles have had the best roster for the past 3 years straight. And it's because he continues to add talent. He never says, we're just going to run it back. No, he said, we're going to run it back, and I will bring y'all a top 5 running back in the league. We're going to run it back, but we're going to draft the best corner in the draft. Right? So Howie Roseman does this year in and year out. A couple years ago, he traded for A.J. Brown. Right? Like, he makes these big moves, and the team is always good because of him. So Howie Roseman, you are definitely on my nice list. All right, let's move on to our last Christmas segment, letters to Santa. So basically, it's not going to be a full letter, but if we were to write a letter to Santa, these 3 things would be in our letter to Santa. All right, Jared, you are first.
Dear Santa, dear old Chris Kinkle, dear old Saint Nick, please help my team get to the AFC Championship this year. I'm not asking for a lot. I don't want you to spoil me and say, I'm not going to say Super Bowl. I'm not going to say Super Bowl win. I just want to make it to the AFC Championship. That means we have 2 wins in the playoffs and we make it to the AFC Championship. I'll be fine losing there, whether it's to the Bills, whether it's to the Chiefs. Just get me to the AFC Championship. Please, Santa. Please. Also, Santa, if I can add another thing, injuries. Injuries. Use some of that good old Christmas magic and just stop all the rest of the injuries from happening. I would like to see what the rest of the year can look like without any injuries. I would have liked to see what the whole season would have looked like with no injuries. But we can't turn back the time, but we can look forward. So going forward from now to the end of the season, please just take away all the rest of the injuries so we can see who really is the best team in the NFL. And the last thing that I want to ask for Santa, look at me. I'm gonna leave out the cookies and milk if you can do this for me. And I know this sounds like I'm hating because I am. Okay, I I am begging you, Santa. Do not allow the Ravens to sneak their way into the Super Bowl. I don't care if the Bills go. I don't care if the Chiefs go. I don't care if it's the Broncos, Chargers. The Texans can make it. It does not matter to me. But as long as Lamar Jackson is not in the Super Bowl and he doesn't have a chance of winning the Super Bowl, no chance, it will be a great Christmas for me, and I will be able to say that you came through. Okay, so Santa, Rudolph, I hope y'all can come through for me this year, and that's all I'm asking for, man.
Hey, I ain't mad at nothing you said at all. But now it's my turn to talk to Santa real quick. Dear Santa, please, please do not let the Chiefs 3P. I'm begging you. I am begging you. Look, Mahomes is a good player. I've never said he's not a good player, but it's just something about the hype that he gets. And hear me out, he's great. I'm not saying he's not great, but last time I checked, we talked about rings matter, right? Rings matter. And I got people saying he the GOAT already. Tom Brady got 7. He has 3. And I get it. He'll have the first ever 3P. I understand that. But you still got 4. That man got 7. I don't even like Brady. But I will stand here and say he's the GOAT. But y'all breaking the rules. Y'all saying that Mahomes will be the GOAT if he get 3P. I'm not understanding. So I will not be able to stand that. Please. Please. And one more thing to add to that, quit letting them win these games with these field goal doinks and these fumble snaps and these flags. Like just let them win a game straight up. Like I'm tired of it. I think we're tired of it as NFL fans. But Santa, I just asked you for something, but now I gotta ask you a question. All right. Because I don't get what I want every year for Christmas, but is Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott, do they have you on speed dial? Because these two clowns just received 2 fat contracts this offseason. Dak Prescott just became the highest paid player ever. And Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed contract. Mind you, Kirk Cousins is 1-4 in the playoffs. Dak Prescott is 2-5 in the playoffs. Then they got paid. Then after they got paid, Dak Prescott went 3-5 before he got hurt. Kirk Cousins was 7-7 before he got benched, including a 4-game losing streak. So they wasn't that good before you paid them. Then after you paid them big bucks, they do this. So my only thing is, Sam, do they have you on speed dial? All right. And then last but not least, I would like to send Cole. Okay. I want to send Cole to overreacting fans. All right, leave nothing but coal in their stockings because I'm tired of overreacting fans. This includes fans like the Steelers, right? When they team win, they love it. But when they team lose, they want to blow things out of proportion. Oh, fire this coach. Oh, trade this player, cut this player. I'm tired of it. Let's stop overreacting. After the first couple weeks of the year, teams have a losing record, they 2-3, 2-4, whatever it is, and they just jump in the gun. Oh, this team sucks. Oh, this team's not good. Then they end up making the playoffs. And now because that's your team, you get the benefit of the doubt. And also fans that when you're watching the game through the first couple quarters of the game, right? Not even through the first half, your team look bad. Then you get mad and say, we suck. We ain't going nowhere this year. And it's not even halftime yet. So to the overreacting fans out there, please give them coal in their stocking, Santa. I beg of you. All right. And that is the end of my Santa letter. Y'all, we lost Jared, but that is all right. We'll go ahead. We're gonna finish this thing out with our we're gonna just finish this thing out. All right. But I want to wish everybody once again a Merry Christmas from the Straight to the Point family. All right. I pray that everyone has a really good Christmas, spend time with family, have some good food, enjoy football, enjoy basketball. And I will see y'all on the next episode of the Straight to the Point podcast. And once again, I want to thank everyone for participating in the Amazon gift card giveaway, all the comments. I really do appreciate y'all. And it's not the last time I'm do it. So y'all stick around with me, keep subscribing, keep sharing. Trying to make it big one day. That's also in my letter to Santa. Is to be on TV one day or to make this podcast pop to where I'm top dog. But much love, many blessings. Y'all stay safe out there. I'm out.